Right, so the next asset on our watch list for today is the USTEC 100, and on the USTEC 100 we also had an opportunity to sell this particular asset after price did break down and retested the 16,450 as we illustrated during our live session yesterday, giving us about we had about how many pips move. We saw price move over 90 pips before the buy pressure resumed again around the 16,370 level. And for those of us who capitalize on this one, well done to you for being on standby to capitalize on this move. And at this point, I already have my sell positions taken out because I did move my stop losses accordingly. And before I knew it this morning, price action had already taking me out of the sell position, and I do hope you have done the same too as well. But if you are yet to move your stop losses, I would encourage you right now, kindly move your stop losses accordingly. Anywhere below the $16,450 area seems most appropriate to lock in wholesale positions at this particular point in time. Now, with a well-secured position at this juncture, how do we intend to capitalize on the next trading opportunities for today? As we all know, that market participants are looking forward to the ADP employment change and, of course, the initial jobless claims counts, which is coming up in about 2, 3, 4 hours from now. And, of course, we're beginning to see a build-up in anticipation of this event, as you will see that in the last let's say in the last 18 hours now, we can see how price action has been trading, or let me use the better word, confined within the 16,450 and the 16,370 area to further emphasize the level of uncertainty going on in the market right now. And of course, you know how we do it in this community, especially when we have a beautiful range like this. We want to exercise patience, waiting for the market to finally make a decision on where it really wants to go. Now, before we go into the details right here on the 1 hour time frame, I would like us to quickly run through the higher time frame for the sake of those who missed out on our earlier sessions, and at the same time help us to have an holistic perspective into what is really going on in this particular market. Now, to refresh our memories, we did talk about a trading setup on the 4 hours time frame yesterday, where we did took into consideration the nature of price action since the beginning of the month of December of last year. And interesting enough, what we were able to come up with here is the fact that price action was very bullish throughout the month of December, and a consistent series of higher lows here gave us an ascending trend line to work with. However, something interesting happened at the beginning of this week, as we saw for the first time in about 4 to 5 weeks, price action finally broke down that ascending trend line to incite a selling opportunity, and it even went ahead to break down our key level, which is situated at the 16,750 level. And from a technical standpoint, when price action breaks down a key structure such as the ascending trend line in this case scenario, and of course the key level had a 16,750, from a technical standpoint, we do expect that some point in time price may want to come back and retest the structure, maybe the 16,750 or the ascending trend line, to incite a downtrend scenario. And if we look at what has been going on here in the last 24 to 36 hours now, you will begin to notice how sellers have been finding it difficult to find lower lows and lower highs here. As at yesterday's live session, we had a support level around here, and in fact the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the last 24 hours, you will see how the 16,370 level had become a strong barrier for sellers, as every attempt by the sellers to break through the structure has been met with strong resistance from the buyers. And what does this simply tells us? Well, if we look at this from a technical standpoint, it's a sign that buyers are gradually gaining momentum behind the scenes. Maybe there's been a lot of buying going on around that area as market participants are considering this price zone or level as cheap enough for them to buy at this point in time. So what this simply means is that we will not negate the idea that we could be seeing a reversal setup unfold here anytime soon. Now, with the situation here, I'm beginning to see the possibilities of a reversal setup in the form of a let me call it an inverse head and shoulder pattern, where this area may be the left shoulder and then this one will be the head, and we could see price come back into the 16,550 area to transition into the right shoulder, where the breakout retest of the neckline could welcome buying opportunities. Now, how do we intend to be on standby to capitalize on that move? Well, it's quite simple, as we have a range already identified on this chart. As you will see that the last 24 hours is more or less characterized with price action confined within the 16,450 and the 16,370 area. And of course, you know how we do it in this community, especially when we have a range like this. We want to exercise patience and wait for market participants to make a decision on where they want to be going. And as a result of this, we are going to be waiting for either the breakdown of the support line to give us an opportunity to join a downtrend continuation, or probably a breakout of the 16,450 to transition into a reversal pattern that will lead to find new highs here. Now, if buying opportunity comes in, remember what I said here yesterday, that we want to be mindful of that area between the 16,750 and the 16,950, or let me say 17,000 area, where the ascending trend line that was broken yesterday is situated. So the reason why we have said this is simply because of the fact that we expect, after a breakdown of a structure, price may come back, retest the structure to incite a downtrend continuation. So with this understanding in mind, if we join a breakout of the 16,450, that is if price breaks out and retest the structure, giving us an opportunity to buy, we, as soon as price gets into the zone around this rectangle I drew here, we need to move our stop losses, secure the current buy position while we exercise patience and wait to see how the market is going to react to the zone. And in fact, if price gets into this area and we begin to see continued selling pressure around this area, then that will simply be a sign that buyers are losing the momentum, and we might likely be seeing the beginning of another leg of a bearish move. However, if price gets into this area and we begin to see significant setups like series of higher highs and higher lows, then this will give us a confirmation that buyers are building up more momentum. Hence, we want to be looking out for trading setup that supports an uptrend continuation pattern. It could be a flag pattern, a bullish rectangle pattern, a pennant, any uptrend continuation pattern you can think of. If it comes around that area, we mark out our levels and join that uptrend move to the upside. So it's a very critical area to look out for if we see price break out the 16,450 level. So that is what we will be looking out for to buy the USTEC 100 for today. So be on standby to capitalize on that move. However, if the contrary happens and price action goes on to break down the support line, that is the 16,370 level, which happens to be the lowest point price action has been for this week, then a retest of structure will be all we need to give us a confirmation that sellers will be dictating the pace going forward. So we're looking out for selling opportunities only if price breaks down to 16,370, and we look out for buying opportunities only if price action breaks out of the 16,450 level. So I encourage us all to mark out these levels on our chart. It's a simple setup we have here, and let's allow our structures to mature before we jump into any trading positions today. So this is my simple view on the USTEC 100. I do hope I made myself very clear. And in fact, if you have any questions or you need some further clarifications as regards to this setup, feel free to let me know in the comment section.